Hello, it's me again. So this is the second video and so much happening for me at the moment. It's one of the key things of Blue Hand is being scattered because of having too many things that you're processing at one time. So I'm really feeling that at the moment. I feel very inspired. I've got loads of ideas, loads of incoming information. And then it's how to share that and be focused and not get too tired as well with all this information coming in. So video 2, and today we are on day 2. Yesterday we were beginning, so yesterday being the Sunday, the 10th of January 2021. So yesterday the moon was in waning Sagittarius and the sun is in Capricorn, and we were here. So in all of these processes, we begin with the red, and the red is about awakening. And we started this process on the 15th of December in Sagittarius Sun energy. So we begin with the first process, which is 13 days of Red Dragon, which is awakening us to our survival issues, our mothering issues. Huge now that that's coming up around what's going on the world stage. Then we go into the white process, which in this red castle, which has 4 processes, they all have 4 processes. The white castle is White Wizard, which is all about empowerment. So on the back of Red Dragon, we're looking at our empowerment issues straight away. They're there for us to see what came up, what we were awakened to around survival. And so these are always repeating patterns, which is why it's so important, if you want to work with this on a deep level, is to know your own patterns and really start to know yourself. Yeah, so as in the Matrix, Neo, it's all about knowing ourselves in order to become self-empowered. The inner work, the focus is inside rather than getting distracted by the outside and what's going on there. The outside's helpful to show us what's reflected back from the inside, from the holograph. And so we can see where we're still triggered, where we're still being taken out of our center, where we're still repeating the same old patterns. And that means we've got work to do on the inside around our own self-empowerment. So White Wizard was bringing us that process, and that ended on Saturday. So Saturday, again, whatever you were doing, it was a clear sign day. It was a day of seeing what needed to shift. Day 13s are always about what needs to shift from the previous 12 days. Where do we need to get clear to align with the cosmic code rather than the man-made mindset created code that we've been working with for thousands of years now, which is based on the patriarchy, it's based on ego, it's based on man-made mindsets, knowing better than the divine, basically, in a lot of ways. And we will have our will, we will have our say, we will create money to the nth degree now. You know, we'll print money, money that doesn't exist, electronic money, so that we can have whatever we want, whether we should have it or not, whether it's a fair exchange or not, all of that sort of process. So that's really coming to an end now over the last few years, and it's coming into balance now with people who are really doing their inner work to let go. So if you think if everybody was doing this process, then the world would be a very different place. But in the future, I guess that's how it's going to be. People are going to know what their patterns are, what their codes are. They're going to know how to work much more in alignment, which is something that we did do thousands of years ago. So by the time we get to the third process in any castle, we're on blue hand in this one, but we're on the blue. So the blue is about transformation work, transforming what came in the previous two. So in this particular one, Blue Hand energy is about working with our survival issues, what's come up, what are our fears, what have our ancestors' fears always been, and then how to come into empowerment and how to learn what we need to do to be free of anything that disempowers us. So, anything that's not good for us, anything that's unhealthy for us, we really need to be in our prime now around health and doing whatever we can to stay in our center and stay well at this point in time because of the processes that are going on. And so, how do we learn how to be healthy and support our own immune system and not be around toxic people, not be around toxic systems? All of this is challenging, of course, because a lot of it is new. But learning's where it's at, the new change coming in, huge Pluto energy happening at the moment, and also really, really strong energies this week. So that's what I'm going to talk about. So today, which is Tuesday, the 11th of, sorry, this is a difficult thing transferring over from the wave spell onto the Gregorian calendar. For some reason, I keep thinking it's Tuesday, but it's not. Today is Monday, the 11th of January, 2021. And we're in the second day, which is yellow lunar star, and the planet is Venus. So today we have got the sun in Capricorn, and we've now got the moon in Capricorn as well, which is dark moon energy building up to the new moon. And the new moon is the same energy in terms of the moon, 23 degrees in Capricorn, as it was on the winter solstice. So notice what you were doing at the winter solstice when the light was returning. Very, very powerful day. And so Pluto is the bringer of death, the bringer of what has to end. So whether we like it or not, we have to evolve, we have to change. Nothing can stay the same forever. So Pluto is bringing back bringing the dissolution of all of these patriarchal ways of being. And that was the same energy that was going on in 2009 when Pluto began. So it's much further on now, the Pluto energy in terms of degrees. But the process really started to begin back then and will continue for another 4 years until Pluto goes into Aquarius. So Pluto is the huge transformer planet, and where that is in your chart is really key as well. So resistance is futile. Pluto doesn't give us a choice about this. It just happens. That's the choice that we have to make, is to align with this evolutionary process. So to get with the program now. So in terms of how I work with this on a personal level, because I'm 55, I've done my 52-year cycle, and so I can map my own personal code, and this is also what I do for my clients. So I send out a PDF, so I'm looking at my PDF now of what I've done for me for this week for my clients. And so for me, Blue Hand is my mind sign. So this is a very, very key time for me. And so on a personal level, this transit takes me through when I was 44 to 56. So from 2009 to 2021. So on the last day of this wave spell, I will be going into my future. I'm not there yet. So it'll be what I'm going to be working with in the next year. So even if you haven't done 52 years, you can map in certain codes and really start to work with it on a daily basis. And that's what it was designed for, to give us an awareness. So bringing the consciousness of past experiences may seem tricky to begin with, but once you get into the habit of doing it, once you train your unconscious mind and make it conscious and say, I want to be aware of these memories, I want to be aware of these processes, then they start to come up very easily the more that you do them, and the more that you have systems in place to work with them, so to work with healing modalities, then you become a lot more comfortable with the uncomfortable, and you know that you just have to do these processes. So on the 10th of January, it was Blue Magnetic Hand on a Sunday, and I was 44. And in 2009, this was the start of a 13-year cycle for me that I'm still in, and I will be completing this year on my birthday. And so that was the bank crash. So a huge story there for me around making choices about my work, which at the time I was a property developer and I was doing a huge project, and I learned a lot over that year. I went to court a lot. I learned about a lot that was going on with the banks and mortgages, and it was an amazing year of learning for me. Very, very uncomfortable, and I didn't get the outcome that I wanted in some ways. But when you look back, you see how instrumental this was in making a shift for me in my understanding and my learning, and how I also really came into my power in a lot of ways back then, because I wasn't just going to lie down and accept it. And I did go to court a lot, and I stood up for myself. And also at the same time, paradoxically, we did lots of traveling. We went to lots of amazing places, and I met a lot of amazing people, and I was doing so many courses and meetings and groups and integrating the learning that I was doing, which began in 2007, which was about holistic therapies. So letting go of the old world in a lot of ways and getting in touch with the new. So on the 11th of January today, we're in dark moon energy now. So we're coming up to a new moon energy. And so Mercury's conjunct Jupiter today. Both of them are in Aquarius. And what does that mean? That's Mercury is our higher self and our mastery and expansion of this new age. So new learning coming in as a power team. And I've had the most amazing day of connecting to people and getting ideas and being inspired. So for me, this is when I was 45 in 2010, which is when I first started to learn about the Mayan calendar, and the first time I went to Glastonbury, and just learning lots about astrology back then. And yeah, it was just an amazing, amazing time. So just looking at that just makes me smile. It was the start of a huge shift for me. And so what's been happening for you today? That's the key for you. What new learning have you had? What's been inspiring for you? Today has been just a really, really magical, heart opening day. So tomorrow we have, again, the dark moon energy. Mercury is in Aquarius and is square Uranus in Taurus. Mars is in Taurus and is square Saturn in Aquarius. So it's going to be a huge day tomorrow. So be prepared, be aware of what you're doing and where you are, because these energies are huge. So we've got strong masculine energy in conflict. That's what squares mean. And again, if you don't know about any of this stuff, just Google it. So put in, what is a square in a chart? So Mercury in Aquarius is like our higher self in this Aquarian age, which is bringing this new energy in, which really is about what is fair for all, what is fair for all in community. And it being square with Uranus in Taurus, what's coming to light around, first of all, I want to say bullshit with Taurus, but Taurus is Isis energy. It is what it is. Now we're in this huge long transit of bringing up what do we value, what do we love, what's coming to light about this. We've also got Mars in Taurus now. And so the masculine's in Taurus. So, you know, this really big energy there around the masculine coming in. And that's square Saturn that's also in Aquarius. So Saturn, again, is a structure that lasts until we're around 30 years old. So it is a very formative time. And so people who are around 30, people who are coming up to 60, they will be experiencing this very much because it's called a Saturn return. So on a personal level, check out if you've got Saturn in Aquarius, because you will be repeating things that happened around the time when you were 30 years old. So a really big day tomorrow. So tomorrow we are on red electric moon, and the planet for red moon is Mercury. Okay, so red moon is being our authentic self. It's a planetary energy. It's being the beacon of light. So we're going to see strong masculine energy tomorrow, in conflict with the structure of what is fair for all. So you could see that as a people against governments, for example. You could see that within your own life around what you're doing at work, for example, who you're working for. It could be in your own family. So again, another way to look at this is the more that you find out about who is in your life, who the codes are, on a personal level. So who is an Aquarius in your family? Who is a Taurus? And how is that going to play out for you in your particular dynamic? Okay. So again, for me, that's going to be when I was 46 in 2011, when I moved to Glastonbury. So on Wednesday, we actually have the new moon, and in the UK, that's going to be at 5 a.m. in the morning. It's at 23 degrees of Capricorn, and I'll put a link onto that. I read out that degree in video 1, so I'm not going to read it out again. So again, it's very, very strong masculine energy. It matches what was happening at the winter solstice time as to Pluto's degree in Capricorn. It's white self-existing dog, and white self-existing dog is a clear sign. It's also a burner day as well. And if you go on my website, flowwithjo.com, there are articles about the 13 clear signs. So they're archetypes for human being stories that are looking to be cleared, basically. And white dog is the ancestral wounding. And so big tribal stories will be coming up tomorrow. And that, again, could be in your own family. It could be on the world stage. The moon is conjunct Pluto. And so again, it's right next to Pluto, the same degree. So this is bringing up shadow stories around the patriarchy, our personal stories, and how we become our own grown-up father figure for ourselves, balance our masculine through healing, integration, and really stepping into our power. That is so key. So on Thursday, we go into blue overtone monkey. So that's here. And blue monkey is Venus energy. So we've got Venus in Capricorn at the moment. So it's really a great time with this new moon energy. You're still in dark moon on the day of the new moon, starting to come out the day after. So again, if you, in terms of putting out intentions for what you want to create, by, for example, the summer solstice, which is the opposite sign, is Cancer. This is a really powerful time to start to begin to do it. So Over the next couple of days, we're going to be looking at what's coming into us on a dream level, maybe, so that we may not be fully conscious aware of at dark moon. And then as we become more aware, it's good to then start to formulate a plan. And this energy really is about that. What's your heart's desire? What do you want to do? Even though all of the rest is chaos on the planet in some ways, what's your heart's desire? Just tune into that, because now is the time to really start to focus on what you want to do for this year. And it's still in the dark half of the year. It's still a time where we're processing, where we're becoming aware. And Venus going into Capricorn until Imbolc, which is IMBOLC, which is a pagan festival on the 1st of February. She's in there until then. So we're really connecting to that energy now. And the way that I work with this is to use the spring equinox. That's the time to launch. So formulating your ideas of what you want to do at the solar time, which is from the spring equinox until the autumn equinox. That's a traditional cycle. And that's what I believe this time is all about, getting back in touch with the natural cycles and learning how to balance ourselves and work with the universal energy. So on Thursday, we have got Uranus going direct in Taurus at 6 degrees. So this is a big time of pushing things forward around our inner child, coming into balance. The 6 degree, it's all about what's going on for you, not what's going on for everybody else. What's going on for you? What are you going to do in this 260-day cycle? Remember, this 260-day cycle is all about Sagittarius, and so it's about Akashic record and changing the storyline. And how we change the storyline is by healing our old storyline and letting it go, and then doing whatever we need to do to change our behavior. So being disciplined, this was what this time is about. Anything that's no longer serving us, anything that's hurting us, that has to go now. That has to go in order to do this process. So on Friday, the 15th of January, we have Yellow Rhythmic Human, and I'll be doing a workshop on that day. Mercury, which is our higher self, which is in Aquarius, enters the shadow of the retrograde in Aquarius, which begins on January the 30th. So you may have heard of Mercury retrograde in Aquarius, Mercury retrograde generally. So it's going back over old ground of what we've already done in this Aquarius energy. So what's already happened. Aquarius we go into on the 19th of January. And so by the time we get to the end of January, we're going to be going back over it to see how much we can come into alignment with our higher self. And again, how do we do that? Heal the story. We have to keep going over old ground until we get it, until we make different choices or not. That's how we evolve. Okay, so on Saturday, we've got the 16th of January, and this is day 7. Day 7 is always when we're at the highest pinnacle. Oh, and just to say again that we've gone into red resonant moon on the first day of this wave spell. So on today, Monday, the 11th, we're on day 2. So we've got 28 days of really getting in touch what's gone on in the past 6 months since we initiated into magnetic moon day 1 on the 26th of July. What was happening for you around that time in your life? Because that 28-day period initiated you into becoming more authentic, becoming the beacon of light. This is Really, really key. So now we're seeing what's resonating with truth for us, what's resonating with authenticity and what isn't, and how that makes us feel. So, what is it that we need to do to create heaven on earth? That's what Red Skywalker is all about, creating heaven on earth. So, on Saturday, it's a really good day to tune in and look back over the last 6 days. What felt really good for you? You want to be doing more of that. And again, when I was saying what felt good, what felt naturally good without any false high, without any coping mechanism. So without alcohol or drugs, or so for example, being in nature, being around people that you love, doing a particular project that you love, what makes you feel really happy. And just get really specific about it, really focus on it. What is it for me that makes me happy? On the 17th of January, on Sunday, we've got Jupiter square with Uranus. So Jupiter's in Aquarius and Uranus is in Taurus. So Jupiter in Aquarius, Jupiter is the mastery planet. And so mastery of this new age that's coming in, mastery of our higher self, expanding this new age, solution focused, fair, and free of shadow story. So what's good for everybody in our community? What's fair for everybody in our community? It will be in conflict with Uranus in Taurus. So what's coming to light with what we love and value, what the people want maybe, versus what those in narcissistic power want on the world stage. Time to change yourself forever day on Sunday. So especially mark that Sunday the 17th of January. It is White Galactic Wizard Day. And this is integration of the last wave spell of White Wizards. So often themes coming up that we've been working with in the previous 13-day cycle. This is my daughter's Mayan sign, it's my grandfather's Mayan sign. And so this is very key for me. And this is actually, for me, was a huge year for me. I was 51 in 2016. I remember with the Mayan cycles, we repeat very similar themes every 5 years, again, so that we initiate something in the magnetic. And then by the time we get to year 5, then we're really working with that energy to master it, to see how far we've come over that 5 years. And so seeing what similar themes you've got coming up, seeing how much you've shifted yourself. So if, for example, you work for an abusive company, then no amount of change that you do for yourself is going to change that company. And making a move to a different career or a different company is an essential part of the process. So watch out for Sunday, because it's going to be a day of integration. And remember that whenever it's a day of integration, then themes come up to integrate. The more proactive we are around healing these themes, and often the more gentle the process is out in the real world. So inner work is really key. On Monday, the 18th of January, we've got Blue Solar Eagle. So that's the key gateway day. There we go. So whenever we get to a day 9, we're ready to go to a whole different level if we've really been working on healing and integrating ourselves. And so that's a magical day for taking yourself to the next level as a planetary server, seeing your bigger picture, and often not getting too attached to the story. So there's lots of paradoxes going on this journey around what we need to do to focus on, to know why we came here, and to get on and do it without getting too enmeshed in drama and other stories. So for me, I was 52, and so that's again is going to be a really key day for me. And lots of things happening to me on that day, on that year, in the past. Lots of great things as well, but some very, very challenging things that showed me big lessons around what I need to stop doing and not be in la la land a lot of the time, and not hope that somebody was going to be something that they clearly were not because of their behaviour. On the 19th of January, on Tuesday, we have got the manifestation day. And if you watch the last video, you will see that that was the card that this pointed to. So again, here we have got yellow planetary warrior, and seeing the manifestation of your spiritual warrior path. So again, for me, it's seeing how far I've come on this journey, which has been really, really challenging at times. And just knowing that to incarnate at this time is really, really challenging. And we chose to do it, and we're capable of doing it. And it isn't all a path of roses. So on the 19th, we've also got the sun entering Aquarius on that day. So that's going to be a beautiful day of this air energy. So it's another planet going into Aquarius, as well as Jupiter, as well as Mercury, and as well as Saturn. So that's going to really change the vibe. Okay, so on 20th of January, it's a major day. It's Inauguration Day in the USA on Wednesday, the 20th of January. Again, a very challenging theme in the starry skies. So we've got Mars is right next to Uranus. So Mars, power team in Taurus. So we've got a surge of Taurus power. So again, if you've got Taurian power, my moon's in Taurus, notice that. Notice what's going to come up around that. It's going to be powerful energy, and be prepared for it. What's been coming to light around this now is creating a lot of drama on the world stage. So again, not getting dragged into the drama if you want to stay in your center and you want to see a bigger picture that is beyond some personal drama story here. There's huge themes coming up now around how can these things happen, what has allowed them to happen, what needs to change. Remember, Aquarius energy is not getting dragged into the drama. It's about being solution focused. What do we need to change in these structures so these things don't happen in the future? So this is Red Spectral Earth Day. Okay, and so what do we need to release? It's, again, all of these are key mastery Mayan signs. So we've got the first 13 is really about the human process. And then we go into the next 7, which is about how to master these processes on a much bigger scale. Okay, so on the 21st of January, Thursday, we've got White Crystal Mirror. Seeing how clear our energy body is flowing, what's being reflected back at us in our holograph on the world stage, on, because of our stage, because of our inner picture. And then finally, on the 22nd of January, we have got Blue Cosmic Storm. So taking us there, as you can see, that is a portal day. So what needs to shift around what's taking us out of our center, what needs to shift in our story? Pluto, again, Pluto is the key. Pluto is our shadow story, all the things that where we've been disempowered, where we've been taken out of our emotional center, where we've experienced trauma. That's the key for us. That's what needs to heal. That's what this process is all about. And the more that we really work with this 13-day process, if you don't yet know how to do it, check out Emotional Freedom Technique, and emofree.com is Gary Craig's website. There's loads of free resources out there. I will be doing another video tomorrow that will show you how to really work with shifting this energy, because then once we go into the next process afterwards, we've got a full moon in Leo coming up, and we're in yellow sun, which in itself is initiated by a clear sign. By the time we get to yellow sun, we'll be seeing where we're at. We'll be seeing how much light we can hold. We'll be seeing where we are in terms of our Plutonian, what needs to die so that we can live, so that we can do more than survive. We can thrive. We can bring in the gifts that we came here to bring through our own personal process. So I hope that's given you a structured view on the astrology, and this is a new way of presenting it for me, and something that I do on a private level and I do with clients, but haven't actually done a video on it before. So please do give me your feedback and let me know if that makes sense for you. I know with a lot of people looking at these videos, the language is strange. It's galactic language. So I try and cross-reference it with the Gregorian calendar. But please just say, what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and I will take that on board, your feedback, and aim to make it more user-friendly for everybody. So hope you have an amazing 13-day process in shaping your destiny. We're here to become the avatar potentiality through doing this process. For more information, do check out my website, flowwithjo.com. Bye for now.